All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the third episode of what we're now calling Scoot Scoot Fridays, where the team at Apollo gets together once a week to answer your questions and share some of the things that have happened at Apollo this week. It's been an exciting week for us. We just dropped the Apollo Phantom 2023 on Wednesday. It's been 2 years in the making, a scooter that everyone's been so excited for. And we know there's been some questions from the community specifically about the 60 volt, and we wanted to take the time to dig into it, explain why it's only the 52 volt that launched, not the 60 volt, right? What about all of our favorite customers that paid the top dollar for one of our most powerful scooters? Surely we didn't decide to exclude them on purpose, right? So there's a bit of context there that's missing, and we want to share that context. And we've also received a number of questions actually from quite a few users. So we'll take some time to get into that. With us today, we have our COO Nadim, our CTO Elwa, and myself, Mac. And without any further ado, Elwa, what's the deal with the 60 volt?
All right, so when we developed the Mac 1 controller, we made a 48 volt, a 52 volt, and a 60 volt to try to accommodate all the models that we're going to do in the future. The 48 volt and 52 volt work perfectly, and the 60 volt too, until you take it out for a ride, just started to overheat pretty badly. So just for context, when we got those the controller of the Phantom is mounted inside the deck, and when we want to push more power higher than 52 volt or go like with 30 amp like we do for the Mac 2 on the Pro, you really need the controller to be outside. Like you need a hole in the body, controller sticking out, and the fins to cool with the wind the controller. So we did that for the Phantom. We did a version of 60 volt with a hole in the body. We tried, and it was still too hot. So at this point, we made the choice to continue testing it, and that's what we're doing actually today. And for like FYI here, it's probably -2 right now, -3. It's pretty warm for Quebec, and it reached 91 degrees Celsius in a minute. So that gives you an idea how bad it is. So I think we're still going to try to do some like efficiency improvement to see if we can fix this problem. But my personal guess is that we need, if we want to do a 60 volt controller, let's say now I did a 48 volt and a 52 volt controller, I would need to redesign a whole PCB and do like a 60 volt and 72 volt, but it's just not something I'm interested in, honestly, for now, because the 52 volt can do the same job as the 60 volt. Like the acceleration is fantastic. And again, as we described in all the podcasts and the videos, we are really seeking the best experience for the customer, the vibe when you drive it. It's magical and not necessarily the super high top speed. And those decisions, it's not me putting my hand on the controller and seeing like, oh, it's hot, or I have a thermometer. Like we have a dashboard to analyze all the data, which I would like to show now, but I can't. But so I have all the, like, let's say the average temperature for all the 60 volt controller. I have all the average temperature for the 52, 40 for the 48. So it's based on real data what we're doing. And for the 52 volt right now, we have around 500 people that connected the Phantom V3 to the mobile app, and the average top speed for that scooter is around. It's pretty low. It's around 30 kilometers per hour. So it's, even if you could, let's say we do a 60 volt, you can go 80 kilometers per hour. You're gonna do it maybe 3 times, 4 times. So
if you guess what's the keynote, that's sort of what we were trying to. That's exactly where we got this stat from. So you can't see it obviously on the screen, but he's flipping back and forth between our backend where we record all the riding data and we look at some statistics about how fast do people actually use their Phantom and how fast do they go on average, and it's actually 25 miles per hour, which is sort of the main insight that drove the development of the controller. Because Elwa was always like, well, let's make it faster, and then he was like, well, hold on, actually you don't need to go faster because nobody goes faster than that. And yes, the split second when you need to, pull away from a car or, avoid an accident or something, those are the moments when that acceleration, that raw power counts. But 99% of the time, you will be more happy with your decision to go with control over raw performance because you're cruising at 25 miles per hour. So I don't know if you're able to share your screen right now.
Yes, it's sharing. So if you, so this is just the one that we did right now outside, and you can see that's the kind of data we are getting. So you can see a controller temperature, 91 degrees. It was not even a minute, it was a 58 second. That's why it didn't record. But you can see that just this small stretch here it's too much, So, and again, it's super cold outside. So imagine you're in California or you go uphill. This is all flat too, by the way. So there's a real problem with this, with those components on 60 volt. It's just not optimized.
Guys, are you sure that everyone can see what it is that you're showing? I can't on my end. I
can see and hear you.
Maybe someone let us know in the comments. Oh, there we go. I think there we go. Yeah, thanks.
So that's what it looks like when you record a ride. So by the way, this is when you record a ride. It's not the data that I'm getting at all time, like when you don't even use the app. When you press the little button record, we're getting that. So again, this one I was showing, it's showing 0 minute because it was not even a minute. And can see here the temperature of the controller, 91 degrees Celsius, which is quite hot.
And what happens, by the way, when it gets to that temperature?
So when it passes 85 degrees, it's going to enter thermal throttling, and that's going to limit all the power of the controller. Just make sure it doesn't exceed 95 degrees. That's really the cutoff end. So you're going to reach maybe 50% of the power until it cools down under, I think, 75 degrees, and then you can reuse the scooter normally. And in the app, we have like an interface that say, hey, be careful, it's getting hot. So even in the worst case scenario, it's impossible to burn those controllers because of all the protection that we built in, but it's just not a good experience. You can imagine you ride for a minute outside during summer and then you lose all performance. And all of this for like 5 kilometers per hour more, it's really not worth it.
Sorry, go ahead, Nadim.
No, I was just gonna say, I think in the first one of these, we talked a bit about what this dashboard looks like and how this can kind of support to provide at least our agents and our A team more information about what's happening with your scooter remotely. This is a bit of just a sneak peek on what we were talking about. This back end dashboard that we have really gives us a lot of information. So really moving towards really, first of all, being able to identify the issue without having to ask someone what's going on. We will be able to see all the data ourselves and provide a recommendation, but then also be a bit more proactive. And maybe if we're seeing something that's not working the way that it should, or if temperatures are too high, or if the battery health starts degrading, being a bit more proactive and even actually letting our customers know either by the app or through some sort of notification system that, hey, something's not right with the scooter, this maybe needs to be serviced. So moving in a direction where we're catching things much quicker and closer to when they happen versus waiting until something catastrophic goes wrong and then having to go through like a much more complicated process. So it's a bit of just a sneak peek from what we talked about from the first episode.
And where it gets even more interesting is when we start combining it with things like the Smart BMS, for example, right? So the back end that I just showed you is really kind of based off of the current Phantom, which does not have a Smart BMS. But in the future, we're further incorporating additional sort of deep and advanced diagnostics into scooters to give us even more insight. And like Nadim just said, become even better preventative maintenance so that we can eliminate any issues that are on track to happen before they happen by letting you, the rider, know, what action to take in advance. So we have some really, really great questions here. Maybe we take a moment just to power through these. So Hans, amazing. So happy to see that you already got your V3. Let us know how you like it. You're probably amongst the first people to receive it already. So congrats. Sonny, can you give me one as a gift? We did do a giveaway, so you missed your chance, I'm afraid. Stephen Vincent, what hardware changes were made on the V3 versus V2? Oh, wow.
We did a double-sided bracket fender. Before there was only one, and during shipping it was getting bent a little bit and it was just rattling, not the best. So now we redesigned those brackets with the plastic covers on the deck were changed to be tighter. And we are looking for the next production of V3s. We're also going to upgrade some bolt in it. And that's pretty much it. The V2 was really solid, really good. The only problem was really controller display. It was not as smooth as we wanted, but the actual hardware was already fantastic. So that pretty minimal, the change. I just wrote in the discussion area. Hello, boys. I ordered my V3. I'm so excited to receive it next week. Yes, thank you, Steven. Phantom V3 brake, hydraulic or disc, which is the best? None of them. It's region brake. Yeah, I would go for the mechanical one because hydraulic or disc, they are both disc, by the way. But I would go for mechanical because the mechanical, well, you pay less, and you will on the V3. I would put $1,000. I would bet $1,000 that 90% of the users will not touch the regular brake. It's all going to be regen. And on the mechanical version, you also have a bell like on the CD built in the handle, which is really nice and convenient. So I would save a bit of money and go for this one 100%.
And maybe just to jump in on that one, we had a lot of customers reach out because we've already sold out of the hydraulic brake variant, being like, what the hell, it's a $2,000 scooter. I want to make sure I get the best of the best. And as Eloi said, having tested the scooter so extensively for the last 2 years, having sent the V3 upgrade kits, having sent it to ESG and countless reviewers, everyone was like, cut the hydraulic brake, basically, because you're just never going to get the value out of it. So I'm sure once you receive your scooter, if you've already ordered one, you'll see what we mean by the power of the regen.
I saw another guy in the video with a beard. Isn't it Eloi doing that anymore? We like him with a beard.
Who's there with the beard?
Aaron, probably. Yeah, our engineer with the throttle video, maybe. Yes, he's going to be doing more videos.
Or is it Sean that we're looking at?
Did Sean have a beard?
Maybe. Sean has unfortunately, we have received this question a few times. So just to be fully transparent, Sean is no longer working at Apollo. Unfortunately, he continued his path outside of our company. But as you can see, Eloi, Nadim, myself, and a few other team members are filling in the void, hopefully.
Trying to, at least.
Trying to, exactly.
Next question is there a plan for V3 upgrade for the V2 60 volt? No, I just explained for now. Still going to try to do it, but I don't think so, honestly. Now we see it. Great. Any update for the Phantom V3 60 volt upgrade kit to the V2?
You can skip to the beginning of this video to get the answer.
And lastly, are you guys planning group ride again this year in Montreal? Absolutely. I know I'm doing a lot of group ride with the staff at Apollo, so I think we're just going to open it and invite more people. But yeah, we love it. And even when you enter our office, you have a big picture of, I think, one of the first group ride we did. So it's really important for us. And this year, we're going to have a lot of new models. We're going to be able to hopefully come with the Explorer, come with the Pro, come with the new Phantom. So it's going to be even more exciting to get the feedback from the community about those scooters.
Absolutely. All right, guys, I think this is a good moment for us to switch gears and talk about the questions that have been submitted before the AMA. So the first question here is about the iOS update for Phantom V3. When can the community expect it to come out?
All right, so the iOS is pretty much ready, and it's at 98 crash-free user. So 98% of the people using it don't have a crash. That's what it means.
Not a scooter crash.
Not a scooter crash, app crash. Today we're going to be making a post on Facebook, Reddit, pretty much everywhere where we can reach our customers, and it's going to be the link to download the beta of it. I want to get, right now we have 50 testers. I want to get to around 250 and still keep that 95 to 100% crash-free user, and then I'm going to release it to the public. The one that is out now do work with the Phantom V3. So yeah, if you want to install it and be part of the beta group, just keep an eye out for today's post. And keep in mind, this is just a beta. So yes, there's probably still a little bit of things to fix, UI-wise, like the picture need to be resized, but overall, it should be pretty solid. And that's the best thing you can do to help us is install it and try to make it crash so I can see what is going wrong in it.
And maybe this is a good opportunity also to explain why the app, like what's been the story behind the app, right? Because I'm sure the community is like, what the hell, you released a product, the app was supposed to work, and then it wasn't. There's reason to it, right?
Yeah, we decided when we made an app the first time, we had limited budget working with an agency as well to try to help us because we didn't have an internal software team. So we developed the app on a frame that is called React Native. And basically you develop it once and then it's split it between iOS and Android. So that's just like a framework that you can develop with. And we discovered that there was a lot of limitation with it because you are dependent on that React Native library for tons of new things. And you can imagine Android always being updated and iOS as well. Those libraries are quickly becoming outdated. So we made the decision to switch to native. That's like fully iOS, fully Android. It's two different apps. And that took a lot of time because at the same time, we're building our internal software team. and we basically had to restart from scratch. And we were launching the City, the Air, and now the Phantom, and we're adapting it for the Pro as well. So it's not just making an app all of a sudden for the Air 2021 like we did at first. It needs to accommodate all those models, and we're always pushing new features. So it does take a lot of time, and we just finalized hiring our whole internal software team. So it's going to go a lot quicker from now. But the heavy load, like the heavy lifting, is done, and now it's really just refining it, and we're on good tracks now. And the biggest thing for me that it's so important that you're going to be able to do, it's you can start a ride and put it on your pocket, your phone, like close your phone basically, keep the app open like in the background, and it's going to still record everything. Compared to before, as soon as you were putting the screen on sleep, you were losing all the tracking data of it. And that's just one of the things that native allows us to do compared to React, is having access to those background service of the phone.
And the experience is better for the user too.
Yes, it's much smoother, much faster. All the data I'm getting in the backend too is
better, stuff like that. Yeah.
It's fantastic.
So stay tuned. It's coming very, very soon. Really quickly, just to answer some of the questions I haven't posted. So any Canadian repair shops coming soon? We are not planning on opening any ourselves. We have amazing repair partners in Toronto, in Vancouver. Obviously, we ourselves are based out of Montreal. And I think, Nadim, do you know if there's any other partners that are potentially being brought on board?
Yeah, we're looking into it. I think one of the things we want to do with, I guess one of the challenges with repair centers and getting new ones is that we have very strict guidelines on how our products are serviced. Obviously, we don't want to send someone to a technician who maybe is not performing the repair in a way that is the correct way, and you know, there's definitely a safety consideration for the rider there. So one of the things we're working on is we have internal certification sort of courses. Like our technicians have to get certified up to a certain level to complete certain repairs. And that's something we're looking to bring across to all of our third-party providers and repair shop partners. So we're just finalizing what that kind of like certification program looks like, and making sure that anyone who we are recommending or sending customers to, or anyone actually at all who is touching any of our scooters, is certified to perform the repairs. Yeah, so that's the part that we're still figuring out, but for sure, the plan is to expand and get as much geographic coverage for like servicing our scooters as possible.
Great.
And I guess if you are curious to see where they are, we just launched a new webpage that is fantastic. You can go to support, book a repair, and you're going to see a map and be able to book an appointment directly there.
Yeah. So no longer having our customer experience team, you can just go on the website and navigate directly to the appointment section. Hans, thank you very much for your kind words. We do appreciate it. Now, rapid fire. PSI City 2022.
45.
PSI Phantom.
50. I need to check. I'm not sure.
Well, if the Pro's coming out in Q3, is the best call to get the Phantom V3 right now and then get the Pro in 2024, or beta?
I would get the Phantom V3 now. I would ride it for the summer. I would sell it at the end of the summer. Take that. It's not losing a lot of values, the Phantom. And the V3 is like the last one, as we said before. Probably one of the last ones. So it's going to keep a good value. I would sell it at the end of the summer, take that money and put it for the Pro and the beta. Like we said 1,000 times, the beta is going to be the V6 of the Pro, and the delivery is going to be the V6 as well, or V6.5. It's going to be the same thing. I'm riding a Pro now. Pretty much I'm trying every day, and it's fantastic. And this is the V5 I'm riding now, so I would feel pretty confident about the beta too. Yeah.
And we have a customer from New Zealand reaching out about getting genuine parts. Nadim, what would you recommend to Robert?
That's a tough one, Robert. Your best bet is the distributor. If the distributor that you purchased from, and trying to source it through them, we provide them with the parts. But yeah, it's a bit of a tough one because a lot of those parts are not off the shelf, right? So we have to provide them. I think your best bet would be to try to reach out to our support team, and maybe we can do our best to coordinate with the distributor that's close by and see how we can get you those parts.
All right, thank you. So a few more questions. This set of questions is from Andrel Premier. So I think that a stand similar to the one on the upcoming Pro model should be standard, or at least optional on most Apollo models. I assume that this would require pre-drilling holes under the deck to host such a solid stand. And I think the stand that he's referring to is that motorcycle
The
stand,
motorcycle
right?
stand, yeah. Yes, it should be standard on all models because it's fantastic. Well, on the City, it's a plastic enclosure under it, so you can't really drill on it. Same thing for the Air. It's leaving us with the Phantom. I think there's not enough like meat in the middle to drill properly like a solid kickstand there. Like the Pro, it's really like there's like a groove in it, and the body is like this thick. It's crazy.
It was designed from the start.
It was designed, yeah. So it's like waterproof, and even all the spring system that you don't see for the kickstand, I need place for this as well. So maybe it would be a good idea if someone from the community want to do an accessory that would like clip on those bodies. And we see more and more of those kickstand being made in plastic for like Tor, for example. So yeah, I agree. It's the best kind of kickstand, and for sure, all our future models they have this kickstand from the start.
Cool. So sounds like a community project, perhaps. All right, next question, still from Andral. Wouldn't a compartment that could hold a spare battery to extend traveling distances be useful to many? That could hold a spare battery.
Yeah, so I think there's like a Falcon PV or Zero. I don't know if they're still in business, but they had a bag that you could clip on but that you could screw on the stem, and you could plug a battery in parallel. Yes, that would be nice, I guess. I just don't have the time to do something like this, honestly.
And stay tuned for the new Explorer, perhaps, if extended range is something you're after. Yeah, a little hint.
It's like everything we do. If we're gonna do it, it won't be in a bag like dangling. It's gonna be next level.
Next question. How will the new controller air intake location under the deck resist shocks from potholes, miscellaneous obstacles like rocks, pebbles, sidewalk bumping, and scratching, etc.? So I think this question is really trying to understand the clearance.
So we got that question a lot. Like I mentioned for the new Pro, and you can see in the V4, I think, YouTube videos or the ESG unboxing, the controller is sticking out from under. So a lot of people are wondering, like, okay, what about water? What about waterproofing? What about if you hit a curb and it's going to hit the controller? Those are all fair questions. Waterproofing, as I explained before, the controller itself is 100% waterproof. It's IP68, I guess. You can put it in the water and just leave it there. So the controller itself is good. Then for the water to not go in the body, we have a seal around it, and we are providing the certification IP66. So like all those questions have been thought about, and it won't be a problem for water. Now, to hit the controller with like a curb or something like this, I personally never hit anything with my Phantom under. Like it gets dirty, like a lot dirty, but I never hit anything, and I'm jumping like everything I can see. Literally, I'm trying. And for the Pro, we have 12-inch tires as well, so it's a bit higher. And it's not sticking out a lot, the controller. It's not like sticking out by an inch, or if you hit it, it's completely going to rip off. It's only the tip of the fins that are sticking out. So if, let's say, you do hit something, which I don't know how could that even happen, a rock, the fin's going to bend, but it's impossible for the controller to rip off of the body, and then you can just change the case of the controller, and that's it.
If you manage to do it, let us know. We would love to know how you did it, because so far it's been impossible to get it damaged. So it's part of the reason we wanted to do the beta testing program as well, right? And I think that sort of feeds nicely into the next question, which is, why would you decide to release the Apollo Pro in Q3?
Just a few days a week before the cold, rain, snow. That's a good idea. That's a good question. Fuck, there's season.
This is a seasonal product we're making.
It was supposed to come out before, but again, it's because of the beta testing that we're trying to do. Like, we learned from the Phantom, we learned from the City, the Air too, and it just takes time, And I rather release a product a bit later, and the whole team and the customers don't go through a nightmare than trying to rush it. So yes, it's unfortunate, but still, it's coming out in 2023. And usually, when we commit to date, like, we are pretty, I think, reliable. So that's giving us enough buffer to be like really 100% sure about what we're going to release.
And again, if you're one of those individuals who's really looking to get the scooter as early as May or June, we highly encourage you to participate in the beta program. We still have a few spots left. and it's a really good opportunity to get the scooter early at a discounted price and be part of the development process.
And if you watch the ESG video that they released about the unboxing, like Paul mentioned, the scooter, like it could be released like it is now. It's almost perfect, you know. So you can see that it's not just because like we are behind and it's not well planned. It's really for your safety that we're doing this. All right, I think we got a couple more questions. One repair center. This one is for you, Nadim. Any repair center in the US yet, specifically in New York State?
Yeah, New York City, in Ridgewood, we have our own repair center. I don't believe we have any other partners in New York State other than in Ridgewood. And then we also have our own repair center in LA, and we have a few other partners in other parts of the US. But yeah, sort of like we touched on before, really want to expand that. I think it's just a question of laying down the foundation of what that servicing network is going to look like to make sure that anyone who is working on our scooters is certified to do so and knows what they're doing. That's where our priority is focused on right now. And then I think from there, it's just a question of signing new partners and getting them certified and put them through that process so that we can feel comfortable sending our customers there.
Perfect, thank you. And for the off-road tire on the Phantom, yes, any 10 by 3-inch tires are going to fit. There's a ton out there, so
I think we sell them too, no?
No, we were. I don't know if we still sell them, but yeah, there's a ton of them. I miss Sean from Apollo's video. Yes, only one. If he's still pop art from the team, like we mentioned before, no, Sean left and
he's no longer part of the team. Number 6 is the new M1 controller on the Phantom V3 25 amp or 30 amp controller.
So the Mac 1 controller is 25, the Mac 2 is going to be 30 amp, and it's really just because I need to put it outside to get that 30 amp and the cool down of it. So yes, there you go.
Cool. Is there a way to keep all the deck lights on the Phantom illuminated and only flash when signal?
All right, so right now on the previous Phantom, you had the 2 deck lights in the front that were turned on at the same time as the headlight, so everything in the front was white, and at the back you had the turning signal and the brake light. With the Mac 1 controller, it's turning signal in the front and back, and that means that you're losing the deck light in the front. It's not always on. Yes, you can rewire it if you want. You just need to connect the headlight circuit to the front light circuit. It's pretty easy. You can twist the wires, put the electric tape, I don't know. But yeah, you can do it. It's just you cannot do it from the connectors. You need to cut them and split them and solder them.
Cool. All right, guys, we have 2 minutes left, so we're just going to power through the last few questions. Will the City Pro be getting an M1 or an M2 controller? Why not?
No, it's mostly honestly because of price. You know, we to be competitive, we need to like choose what controller we're putting in it, and also the battery that we have inside is not able to afford 2 motors at 25 amp. There's just not enough capacity in the actual cell to do this. So no, it's going to remain what it is now.
Cool. Why is the new Phantom V3 not using the new stem folding mechanism?
Because we were trying to do just minor improvement on the Phantom. It's already working really well, and it's also, as you can see, it's not the same factory making them. We have a factory for the Phantom and we have our own factory for the rest of the lineup. So the Phantom, we did the controller and we thought that this was going to be like a revolution, like it completely changed the feeling. So yeah, that's why. And it's fantastic. The folding mechanism of the Phantom has been great since the start, so we just wanted to keep it like this, a more rugged look.
Awesome, thank you a lot. And Nadim, last question is for you. Is there some sort of an extended warranty product that exists if something goes wrong and the scooter needs to be serviced? Can I just pack it back up in the original packaging, send it back to your repair shop? I don't want to deal with the hassle.
Yes, we do have an extended warranty product that's available for US customers at the moment, working really hard on expanding that to Canada as well. I think one of the issues and limitations with our extended warranty product that we're really looking to change as quickly as possible is you can't purchase it after you've bought the scooter. So we want to fix that and have that be available for a certain number of days after you purchase the scooter. Sort of like how Apple Care does it. They give you I think 60 days or something to buy it. That being said, though, outside of extended warranty, you can at any point in time package the scooter, ship it to us, and we'll repair it for you. We'll repair it for you, and if it's covered under warranty, we'll cover the parts and labor for that. So yeah, that's our support team is very, very familiar with this process by now. We've repaired thousands of scooters, thousands and thousands of scooters. So just reach out to them. if you're not exactly sure what's going on, you can always hop on a video call with them as well. That's something we've been doing. We've gotten about 10 under our belts so far, looking to grow that really quickly. So you can always get on a video call. Maybe you don't even need to send it in for repair. Maybe it's something they can help you with virtually. But yeah, if you don't want to deal with the hassle, then reach out. We'll help you get set up, get that sent to our repair center and fixed and back to you as quickly as possible.
Awesome. And I think there's just one last question that popped in.
It looks like the Apollo Pro has a middle thumb throttle. Why will this part be available for other Apollo scooter as an upgrade? So on the first model, it was metal. Now it's plastic, just because of the manufacturing way. It's easier in plastic. I made it in a way because the Apollo Pro you don't see the wires because it's going inside the handlebar. I made it in a way that it can go outside if we want to put it on other models. It's just a question of connectors, how it's going to connect inside the headset. So yes, you could put it on another model. It's just you're going to have to do the wiring yourself, which is pretty easy. We can provide it, but it's going to be, again, cutting and soldering.
Beautiful. All right. Guys, anything else to add before we wrap it up?
Nope, I think that's it.
All good. All right. Well, to everyone who tuned in today, thank you very much for joining us as always. We love these sessions. It's awesome to see the community, the following, the participation grow week over week. We're so excited to keep this going. And next week's going to be a bit of a special episode. We want to do a bit of a dive into our QC. I know that's been a subject that's been talked about extensively. So we're going to lay it all on the table and share with you, all the amazing projects that we have underway to make sure that we make the best quality scooters in the market, period. All right. Thank you all very much and take care.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye, everyone.